Stuff well lit here. And we got something all overlit today. There we go. Get our cans on. Silence our phones. All right. I think we're golden. This will be another short show like the last one. It's the end of the year. There's not much news, so there's not really a reason to split this into 2 episodes. Other than you'd end up with like 2 episodes. It's like 10 minutes each, or less. So it's just package them into one, call it good, and send it out into the world. Anyway. Notes up. Have a new monitor here. Actually working well. And take the pre-show bug out. Everything ready to go. Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Get your tongue loosened up. All right. Let's see here. Okay. I'm bound to forget that. Alright, let's go. Tonight, Discovery gets an international release, Boba Fett is no good guy, Middleman the movie, plus Spider-Man gets more, and COVID upgrades. All that and more on this super edition of Multiverse Tonight. Comic books, sci-fi, fantasy, and more. If you're looking for a roundup of geeky news, you're in the right place. This is Multiverse Tonight. And here's your host, Thomas Townley. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 152 of Multiverse Tonight. This is the combined sci-fi and comic book edition, just like the last time. Let's face it, it's December. You know, not a lot of news gets generated in December. It seems. Um, Not a lot to talk about. Well, um, my wife and I we went to the movies to see Ghostbusters Afterlife. Is by the way an excellent movie. I highly recommend it. Don't again? This is another one of those things. Don't stare too long or think about stuff too long because you'll pull threads. But other than that, it was a great movie. I enjoyed it. I look forward to any possible sequels. Next movie we're probably gonna do is looking forward to Spider-Man: No Way Home and Matrix Resurrection, which comes out later this month, and ticket sales for the Matrix just went online today, and ticket sales for Spider-Man: No Way Home are through the roof. So that's at least it looks like the box office is for the end of the month is going to be super, which I'm sure every theater owner needs. But other than that, let's get on to some Star Trek news. We begin Star Trek news today with international viewers getting a present from Viacom CBS in the form of a brand new international distribution plan for Star Trek Discovery's 4th season. If you'll remember from the previous episode, international Discovery viewers were dismayed when the Netflix deal was cut and they couldn't get Discovery until next year when Paramount Plus planned to launch globally. Well, Viacom apparently heard the outcry. Don't know why they couldn't do this beforehand, but they heard that outcry and announced that those in regions where Paramount Plus is already available, Australia, Argentina, Bolivia, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Denmark, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Finland, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Norway, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Sweden, Uruguay, and Venezuela will see the first 2 episodes become available to stream on Friday, with new episodes following on a weekly basis. And those in European countries like Austria, France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Switzerland, and United Kingdom will be able to watch Star Trek Discovery Season 4 via Pluto TV. Now, episodes will stream at 9 p.m. local time on Pluto TV's Sci-Fi channel, with episodes available for purchase. Meanwhile, on Better Trek shows, Nickelodeon has announced a premiere date for Star Trek Prodigy, which first debuted on Paramount Plus in October and is on hiatus until January 6th. The 1-hour series premiere will launch on December 17th at 7 Central. IDW has announced Star Trek Klingons, part of a series of extra long one-shots that will look at different alien races. Klingons will chronicle the life of Kahless the Unforgettable, when writers Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly, showrunners of the hit series Star Trek Year 5, have teamed up with artist Timothy Green II, who has done Star-Lords, Annihilators, and Animal Man, to tell the legend of Kahless the Unforgettable, the greatest warrior of the Klingon Empire. From the death of his cowardly brother Morath to his victory at Three Turn Bridge, Lansing said about the series in a press release, quote, "I was in large part raised by Star Trek, and no culture helped me come to terms with my masculinity, my anger, and my personal code of honor more than the Klingons. So when I tell you the only thing more exciting to me than taking the Enterprise crew on their final journey in Star Trek Year 5 is getting to show the man behind the myth of Kahless the Unforgettable, you can believe it," unquote. Now, Klingons comes out in February. Next after that will be Star Trek Ferengi in April. And now, let's go on to the Star Wars news.
Roger, Roger.
Ivana Sakano is the latest person cast in the Star Wars Ahsoka Disney Plus series. Now, she joins the already cast Rosario Dawson, Natasha Leo Bordizzo, and Hayden Christensen. Now, Sakano will be playing a newly created character. Now, previously, she has appeared in Pacific Rim Uprising, High Fidelity, and The Spy Who Dumped Me. The Book of Boba Fett will truly be a limited series, as the episode count has been revealed to be just 7 episodes. The series, which premieres on December 29th on Disney Plus, will have us, quote, see the rise of Boba Fett and Fennec Shand in 1 month, unquote, according to the Star Wars Twitter account. Now, some more on that. By the way, don't say that they're good guys or bad guys, according to Ming-Na Wen. Now, Ming, who plays Fennec Shand in Boba Fett, said in Disney 23 magazine, quote, it's going to be really interesting to see how their dynamics grow in the Book of Boba Fett. I think that's all I can say. The rest is you have to watch. Not that they're the bad guys. They're not that good either. We are the anti-hero. I like playing an anti-hero. You get away with more, I think. Now, she also went on to describe the character's partnership and morals, saying, quote, well, there's a partnership between the two of them, Fennec and Boba Fett, for sure. They're bonded by the fact that they both lived through a near-death experience, and there is a sense of code that they both abide by, unquote. Let's go on to the DC Comics news. Batman the Animated Series is coming back, yet in the form of an audio drama with the original cast. Kevin Conroy and John Glover broke the news at the Los Angeles Comic-Con this past Saturday. The podcast will be written by original Batman the Animated Series writer Alan Burnett. Not many details about it are known at this time, but we'll keep our eyes out. Metal Men is getting an animated adaptation. According to an exclusive in The Hollywood Reporter, animation legends Ron Clements and John Musker, who made such movies for Disney as The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and The Princess and the Frog, will be tackling the Metal Maid superhero team. The duo will team with Space Jam A New Legacy writer Celeste Balliard, who will write it. Metal Men revolves around the brilliant scientist William Magnus and his creations, 6 highly advanced robots who have personalities and powers associated with their respective metals: gold, iron, lead, tin, mercury, and platinum. The property has been in various stages of development for a live-action version, but just never came to be. No word on if it will be an HBO Max project or an actual feature film. Danny DeVito's version of the Penguin from Batman Returns is seen as the benchmark for portrayals of that DC villain, and Danny wouldn't mind returning to the role at least one more time. In a recent interview with Forbes, the actor said, quote, I feel like it's not out of the question that the Penguin will return someday, but this is all up to Tim, whether or not Tim wants to do this. I would say that could be in the cards because we ain't dead yet, he laughed. We could do a continuation of what we had in the past because that was truly a brilliant movie. They afforded me the opportunity and I felt very grateful, and I would like to revisit it. Why not? It was a really great moment in time for me, unquote. He also added, quote, there's a little Oswald in me, and then there's Danny. I'm not a closed book. I am pretty much an open book, unquote. Well, here's hoping that someday we might get to see Danny DeVito as the Penguin one more time. Let's go on to the Marvel news. Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man will be staying indefinitely, according to producer Amy Pascal. In an interview with Fandango, the producer said, quote, this is not the last movie that we are going to make with Marvel. This is not the last Spider-Man movie. We're getting ready to make the next Spider-Man movie with Tom Holland and Marvel. We're thinking of this as 3 films, and now we're going to go on to the next 3. This is our last of our MCU movies, unquote. Now, sources have told The Hollywood Reporter that Sony has a strong relationship with Tom Holland and Kevin Feige and hopes to continue with the collaboration. Although there are currently no plans at this time, No Way Home, which debuts this month, with hopes to meet the $1.1 billion earned worldwide by Spider-Man Far From Home. And don't expect Peter Parker to have a brand new spider suit for No Way Home. Tom Holland, appearing on the Graham Norton Show, had the following exchange with host Graham and fellow guest Henry Cavill, quote, The suit's the same, right? Or is it being changed? Norton asked. Yes, it's the same, as the last one. There's no changes, Holland replied. Again, I asked for a zip and I didn't get one. Holland then asked Cavill if he has a zip in his Superman costume, and the star replied, yeah, sort of. This caused a hilarious, confused reaction from Holland, so Cavill added, it's not conventional zip, no otherwise you'd see it, but yeah. Holland then asked, what about we're talking about the same zip, right? A toilet zip. Cavill replied with a chuckle, saying, I hope so. We also got a first look at the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse sequel. It'll be called Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. First thing, instead of just one movie, we're getting it split into a part 1 and part 2, just like the recent Dune movie. We also learned that Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, got every character they wanted to play with. The pair told Entertainment Weekly, quote, honestly, no. When asked if there were universes or characters that they wanted to introduce but didn't make the final cut. We're getting to do more or less everything we have ever wanted. Now, the film stars Shameik Moore as Miles Morales / Spider-Man, Jake Johnson as Peter B. Parker / Spider-Man, Haley Seinfeld as Gwen Stacy / Spider-Woman, Oscar Isaac as Miguel O'Hara, who is Spider-Man 2099, and Issa Rae as Jessica Drew / Spider-Woman. The film is set to be released on October 7th, 2022. Miguel and Marvel are directly together as a word. Miguel Marvel. It's almost a tongue twister. Marvel Studio head honcho Kevin Feige revealed in an interview with CinemaBlend over the weekend that Charlie Cox would be playing Daredevil if they ever needed that character. Feige said, if you were to see Daredevil in upcoming things, Charlie Cox, yes, would be the actor playing Daredevil. Where we see Cox as Daredevil, how we see that, when we see that, remains to be seen, unquote. Now, Cox played the role in the Netflix series from 2015 to 2018, but as of now, there are no upcoming Daredevil projects in the works, and as far as we know, no plans to use the character. Now, let's go on to some good old-fashioned geek news. In response to a wave of bots scooping up hot products on the internet to be resold for ridiculous amounts, a group of Democratic lawmakers are pushing the Stopping Grinch Bots Act, which would make it illegal to use bots to purchase products and would punish those selling said products. The legislation is being pushed by New York Representative Paul Tonko alongside Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, Connecticut Senator Richard Blumenthal, and New Mexico's Ben Ray LeJean. While PS5 and Xbox Series X's are the first things that come to mind, the legislation seems to extend to essentially any product purchased using bots. In a press release, Schumer talked about the benefits of passing the legislation. The average holidays shopper is unable to compete with the light speed of the all-too-common Grinch bots, and are then held at ransom by scalpers and third-party resellers when trying to buy holiday presents. After a particularly trying year, no parent or American should have to fork over hundreds or even thousands of dollars to buy Christmas or holiday presents for children and loved ones. It is of the utmost importance that these Grinch bots are thwarted in their attempts to steal Christmas and money from hardworking Americans, unquote. So if this appeals to you, go ahead, call your members of Congress now, the ones that will listen, or call better members if you can get a hold of them. On to other news. Gal Gadot's Cleopatra movie has switched directors. Now, Gal's frequent collaborator, Patty Jenkins, has exited Cleopatra to focus on two of her other high-profile projects, DC's Wonder Woman 3 and Star Wars Rogue Squadron for Disney/Lucasfilm. Marvel's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier director, Kari Skogland, will replace Jenkins at the helm of Cleopatra, according to several reports. Now, Cleopatra is set up over at Paramount Pictures under Atlas Entertainment, and Leota Kalogridis is handling the script. Now, this will be Skolin's big screen debut, having worked as a TV director since the 1990s. Disney has put Turner and Hooch down. Now, the series, which will now be a really quick series to binge, has been axed by Disney+. Series star Reginald Vell Johnson broke the news when asked about it by comicbook.com. He told them, quote, "Well, as far as I know, they're trying to sell it to another network or something like that. That's what I heard. But as of now, it's not going to be picked up, I don't think. It was fun to do, and working with the actors was great fun, and I hope so. Whatever they decide to do with it, I'm in. I'm with it. It's okay. I enjoy doing the sequel, and hopefully we'll have some time to do it again. But if not, I'd glad for the experience." Unquote. Yep. Sorry to see that big lovable dog down. Not really. No dogs were harmed in the making of this report. The Fox brick building competition show Lego Masters has been renewed for a third season. The show, which has been run as a summer series, has done well with teens and 18 to 48-year-olds. Season 3 will debut during the summer of 2022. The new COVID variant Omicron has reared its ugly head in North America, and the second confirmed case has been linked back to the New York City Anime Convention, Anime NYC 2021. This past Thursday, the CDC announced it was investigating a confirmed COVID-19 case caused by the Omicron variant after a Minnesota resident who attended the annual anime convention held this year from November 19th to 21st returned home to their home state and tested positive. The CDC reports that the individual, who has since recovered, developed mild symptoms on November 22nd before getting tested on November 24th. Now, the con required masking and complied with the city's key to new NYC vaccine mandate, so most likely this person got it from somewhere else. However, if you attended or if anyone else attended that convention, you might want to get checked out, just in case. Disney has revealed the cast for their new non-Marvel superhero show, Extraordinary. Now, this show centers on a young woman who is the only person on Earth with no superpowers. The cast will be headed up by Madred Tayers, who is set to star in Thor director Kenneth Branagh's upcoming film Belfast. She will star in the 8-part series alongside Poldark Sophia Oxenham and Dairy Girls Saban McSweeney. Extraordinary is written by debut writer Emma Moran and is filming around London. Awkwafina is joining Nicolas Cage and Nicholas Hoult for Universal Pictures' Renfield. The movie will be directed by Chris McKay and will begin shooting early next year in New Orleans. Now, Hoult is starring as the titular character, the familiar of Count Dracula. Nick Cage will be playing Dracula, and Awkwafina will be playing a character that teams up with Renfield to take on the Vampire King. The movie is being written by Ryan Ridley, best known for Fox's Ghosted and Adult Swim's Rick and Morty. And while we're on vampires, Anne Rice's Lives of the Mayfair Witches will be made into a series at AMC, joining Interview with the Vampire. The 8-episode series will be written and executive produced by Masters of Sex duo Esther Spalding and Michelle Ashford. Mayfair is about an intuitive young neurosurgeon who discovers that she is the unlikely heir to a family of witches. As she grapples with her newfound powers, she must also contend with a sinister presence that has haunted her family for generations. Now, the Interview with the Vampire series will premiere in late 2022 on AMC. Mayfair has no set date yet. Peacock has ordered Supernatural Academy, a young adult animated fantasy series based on the Jamin Eves, the Supernatural Academy books. The project will be developed and written by Gillian Horvath and executive produced by Alan Bobahet with 41 Entertainment. Now, Supernatural Academy chronicles an outworldly adventure of sisters marked at birth. One twin sister was raised in the supernatural world, confident and popular. The other was raised in the human world, an offbeat outsider. Now they're about to be reunited at the Supernatural Academy, and neither one of them is thrilled about it. These adversarial twins will have to learn to get over their differences and trust each other in order to save themselves and save the world. The series will premiere on January 20th on Peacock. Kevin Smith is already brimming with ideas for season 2 of Masters of the Universe Revelation if it gets picked up for a second season. In a recent episode of Fat Man Beyond, Kevin said, quote, We are in a place now where we get to figure out if we get to go again. Based on the first round of episodes, things were looking very positive. Hopefully based on dropping part 2 and how many people finish the whole thing, if that's all positive, if we reach what they call efficiency, then we might get to do it again. Fingers crossed. So watch the shout out if you want to see more. That's how we get to do it again. I hope we get to do it again. I'd be so good to do it again because I got ideas. Unquote. Well, I'm sure he does. Let's finish off by checking out this past weekend's box office. Now, as usual, we start at number 10, although I'd like to draw attention here to number 11 on the chart. Number 11 is Vintage Let There Be Carnage, which was number 10 last week. It grossed $1 million. So far, its total gross is $210.9 million. That's very good. At number 10 was Sword Art Online Progressive Art of a Starless Night. That's pretty good. It made over $1 million for only being in 840 theaters. So, bravo. At number 9 is King Richard, which dropped 2 spots. At number 8 is Clifford the Big Red Dog, which also dropped 2 spots. Number 6, it's made a total gross of $45.7 million. Dune came in at number 7, up from number 8, so it actually increased. It got $1.8 million this past weekend, so its total gross is $104.5. Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City came in at number 6. Eternals dropped from number 4 to number 5. So far, it's made a total gross of $156.5 million. Christmas with the Chosen, The Messengers, came in at number 4. Again, that's one of those weird releases that, I have no clue what the heck it is. House of Gucci was number 3. It actually stayed at 3. The top 3, in fact, all stayed at the respective spots. House of Gucci made $6.7 million. It's made $33.6. Ghostbusters Afterlife, again, a very good film. All go out and see that. Made $10.3 million this past weekend. That's down about 57% from the previous week. And its total gross is $102.1 million. And Encanto came in at number 1 with $12.7 million. Now that's also down $53 million, or 53%, I should say. Its total gross worldwide, or its total gross so far is $57.9 million estimated. Now, this is very good. Since we're at the end of the year, let's look and see what the biggest box office gross this year has been. So far, it's still Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which has a total domestic gross of $3.6 million. So that brings us to the end of the show for today. Now, if you like the way this show has been, please head on over to our social media. We're at Twitter at Multiverse Tom. We're also on Facebook and Instagram as well. And if you'd like to contribute financially to the show, we have Ko-fi, we have Ko-fi.com, we have Share a Coffee, we have Patreon. We have so many different ways you can tip me at the end of the year if you want to tip me. If you'd like to do that, go and check our show notes, visit the Tia Public Store, and so much more. Head on over to multiversetonight.com. If you're a subscriber, be sure to share us with your friends. And if you're brand new to the show, please be sure to subscribe and leave us with some feedback. Let us know how we're doing. Now, special thanks to Shane Ivers for the intro music and Lobo Loco for the outro theme music. Thanks for watching this combined edition of Multiverse Tonight. We'll be back in 2 weeks with more sci-fi and comic book news. Now, please exit the universe in an orderly fashion. Good night. Multiverse Tonight is a production of Half-Baked Genre Productions, copyright 2021, all rights reserved. Let's double check, make sure everything got recorded. Scooty Scoodly doot, scoodly doot, scoodly doot, doot 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 do, rookie ticky ticky, root do 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 do. Root do do do, rookie ticky ticky. Well, there's something there. 26 minutes long. Yes, we have a podcast. Well, thank you for watching today. If you've been watching, at least it always says there's one viewer, but I cannot verify your existence. So I just want to say thank you. And thank you for watching. And